everyone, I'm Jenna Henderson, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about how I organize my film on wedding day. So I've been shooting film for about 10 years now at weddings, and I've picked up a couple of habits along the way that help me keep organized. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. It's really important to stay organized on a wedding day for a couple of reasons. Number one, you want to be able to grab your film quickly. Wedding days can be rapid pace, and you don't want to miss a moment or miss out on something because you're tripping over your film or your equipment. Second, if you are able to stay really organized, you know that you're never going to lose any film, which could be a really big deal later. And also, when you get yourself organized on the front end, it saves you a lot of time on the back end when it comes to editing and delivering for your client. So I personally typically shoot Portrait 400. And I'm shooting this for about 90% of the day when I'm shooting film. The reason is this is just what I prefer personally for my aesthetic, and I like to stick with one type of film just as much as possible for consistency on a wedding day. Now, I do also will have a secondary camera that I will shoot a 35mm camera and put some Tri-X 400 in for kind of a different look, but for the most part, I'm shooting this with my Hasselblad H1 camera. First things first, I'm going to get my film, and if you've ever shot film, you know that it comes in a box like this, and then inside, the 120 film is in this little foil wrapper. So first thing I'm going to do is get it out of the box and then get it out of its wrapper. I'll usually recruit my 8-year-old son to help me shuck the wrappers off the film because he's just really good at it. He earns $1 or $2 for helping me out. Once I do this, I'm usually unwrapping about 30 rolls because I typically will shoot somewhere between 18 and 22 rolls on a wedding day. So if I unwrap 30, I know that I'm going to have plenty. And if I expect to shoot more than that, of course, I'll bring more. But that's pretty typical of what I'm shooting throughout the day. Sometimes it's less. It just kind of depends on the wedding and the day. I always will write a start count list at the beginning of the day, no matter how much I bring, just so I know exactly what I've started the day with. So I just make a quick little list of all the different types of film that I've brought with me and how many of each roll, and tuck that away in my camera bag for later. So once I've got everything unwrapped, the next thing I'm going to do is group it into groups of 10. So a quick way to do this, a little trick, is you can just gather everything up, and when you make a little pyramid like this, you know you've got 10 rolls. So I group everything into a group of 10, and then each group of 10 gets its own Ziploc bag. So I do this so that I can keep up with how much I'm shooting throughout the day at a glance. I can pick up a bag. If I see there's only a couple of rolls left in it, then I know how much I've just shot. Now, throughout the day, as I'm shooting, once a roll comes out of my camera, each roll gets labeled. I get these stickers. They're little yard sale stickers that you would put on your stuff at the yard sale, and then I pre-number them with a Sharpie. There's 24 on this sheet, so I've got 1 through 24 here. Now, my assistant is the one that's labeling throughout the day because I always have an assistant with me to help me load and unload my film while I'm shooting. So she will, when I hand her a shot roll of film, she'll take a sticker and she'll stick it right here on the top. So that's why those yard sale stickers are perfect, because they're the perfect size to fit right there, and we can keep the film numbered in order throughout the day. So labeling is important to me because I can actually tell my lab, hey, I've got everything labeled chronologically, and so when they send me back my scans, they send me back scans in order. I personally like to tell weddings as a story when I'm shooting, and stories to me are chronological, so I want my film to be chronological, and when the lab can do that for me, it saves me hours of time later when I'm trying to piece everything together. Now, once a roll of film is shot and labeled, it goes into this bag right here. This is actually a makeup bag, and I selected it because it's this thick plastic, unlike a Ziploc baggie, so it's less likely to tear. I also like that it's clear so I can see everything and make sure all the babies are tucked into bed like they should be. And I prefer not to use a Ziploc bag for shot film just to avoid any confusion later. I don't want to accidentally grab a roll that I've shot and try to load it in my camera. I've done that before. I don't want to get it mixed up with trash and accidentally throw something away. So it's just to differentiate what's ready to shoot and what's been shot is why I use that. Now, at the end of the night, after I'm ready to pack up and go home, my assistant and I will grab all of our rolls of film and lay them out, line them up one by one, and make sure that we've got everything. And that is where that start count sheet really comes in handy, because this has saved me a couple of times. In fact, just this past weekend, we lined up all our film and we noticed that roll number 14 was missing. And that's a really good way for me to go into panic mode quickly. So before I got into panic mode, though, we got out this sheet of paper and we counted all of the rolls that I had with me, all the short rolls, all the different types, and just compared it with this start count, and it matched. So we were able to reconcile the film, see that we actually had all the rolls of film, and figured that what had happened during the day is that sticker number 14 had just popped off this sheet of paper, and that's why that number was missing on the top. So that's why I start with that little sheet of paper. It kind of helps me out at the end. It also helps me make sure that I haven't left anything in my camera or haven't actually dropped something, and just give me a good way to have some peace of mind at the end of the night. So that's it. For my next video, I'll see if I can actually get my assistant to come on, and we'll talk more about our dynamic when it comes to her loading and unloading while I'm shooting, and kind of what that's all about. But in the meantime, I hope that this little video has helped you. Next time you're at a wedding, you can use some of these tips and tricks for keeping yourself organized. So thanks so much. We'll see you soon.